Just to provide you with some context, the American Tech CEO Confidence Index is a quarterly questionnaire that goes out to all of South Africa's CEOs, collating their perspectives and views on the outlook of the South African economy and their expectations. It comprises of 5 sections and an additional topical section. Quarter two's staggering performance has been quite a surprise, but actually not. It's amazing what can happen in a year. We've had 100 days of free of any load shedding, plus we've managed to form a new government of national unity. And it's the combination of the political stability with the load shedding that has seen such a substantial rise to levels that we have not seen since before the July 2021 riots. So, Fifi, in summation, it's both the political stability and the absence of load shedding that we've seen such a turnaround in the confidence.
And particular confidence amongst the consumer staples in the second quarter. Miles, why this sector particularly in your view?
So consumer staples typically provides as your food and beverages industry. Obviously, production is highly dependent on electricity. Given that we've seen production requirements improve, obviously producers, manufacturers, distributors, anyone involved with the cold chain is obviously going to have an increased public sentiment as the ease of doing business is starting to return to economic conditions that are more favorable for them. So it affects everyone throughout the value chain. Electricity is such an important component of the economy, and we hope to see further addresses looking now at water and in the backlogs within the port infrastructure. We should see even further improvements across all sectors.
Yeah, and I mean, as you rightly say, we have essentially, the CEO confidence has essentially returned to levels last seen in the third, fourth quarter of last year. It is a volatile index nonetheless. And just based on your engagements with some of the captains of industry that lead the companies that are listed on the JSE and large entities within the South African economy, what are they saying it will take, or what more do you reckon it will take for the actual confidence to translate into significant investments in the economy once again?
But Fifi, there's a cautious optimism. Obviously, we look to our European counterparts when we see how a government of national unity would work and what multi and coalitions will actually function. Our Italian and our German counterparts have shown that it's not always easy to be effective, given the diverse political ideologies and policies espoused by our various political parties. How we come to agreement and how we deal with conflict is going to be very, very interesting over the short to medium term. But it's very, very positive in terms of how we formed our ministerial positions. And once we start to tackle the other infrastructure backlogs in terms of what we deal with water and how we deal with the various ports infrastructure, as we've seen with private and public partnerships with private operators coming from the Philippines into the Durban Harbour, as we've seen with Grindrod recently being appointed for Richards Bay, and they're looking at other service providers to look at the other ports, we should see further confidence and investment come through. It's the role of the government and the state to create the conditions to drive economic growth. And we've already seen positive steps in addressing electricity. Hopefully, these will now filter through to the other sections that are requiring a little bit of recourse. And South Africa is on a fantastic trajectory. This is already being echoed in the markets. We've seen a recovery in the rand. We're already starting to see an uptake on transactions. And the positive sentiment is starting to echoing around. And as more international companies look to South Africa as a destination for an investment, we're immediately seeing interesting activity in various different sectors, including, for example, business processing of the BPO space. So positive sentiments as we address the infrastructure backlog, we should see even further and further benefit.